and welcome to Fed Up Recovery. I'm Kim, and today we're going to be making dinner. And I'm just going to be cooking and talking about like eating and all that good stuff. Okay, so yeah. I like cooking a lot. It's something I've been doing probably in the last year, getting really into cooking. I think that it's been like a big part of me staying in recovery because it's helped me to develop like a good relationship with food. Because when you get to the roots of how food is made, even just like simply I'm making noodles today. I have like spent a lot of time cooking it and I spent a lot of time eating it after. And you know, it's just more fun this way. Today I'm making homemade egg noodles. They don't take very long. They just take like 30 minutes. And they're really chewy and delicious. And I like to serve them with Swedish Meatballs, which is something that my mom would make when we were young. And this is kind of like a more homemade version, like the sauce I'm gonna make by hand and the noodles I'll make by hand. So I find that just tastes a lot better when I make it this way. I really loved cooking a bit when I was young, but when I developed an eating disorder, I found it really stressful to like ever be around food. And then the more I got into calorie counting, it took away any sort of enjoyment from eating, and I just needed to be like with food as little as possible, especially as I continued to try to recover from anorexia and then bulimia, because I found that like just being around food is really hard. So part of my recovery has been kind of exposure therapy of spending more time with food by baking it, cooking it, making it like a big experience, and learning that food is not just about eating it and calories, it's all about like where it comes from. By learning how to cook again and spending more time with food by cooking and serving meals for my family and friends, I've started to love the whole experience of eating, whether it's dinner, going out with friends, and learning that food is more than just calories. It's about the beauty of food. So now I've mixed up eggs and milk and salt, and we're gonna add the flour 1 cup at a time. I never knew making noodles was so easy. I did this for the first time like 2 weeks ago. I made egg noodles and cabbage for my friend in Texas. And they turned out pretty good. This time I'm gonna make them thinner, which I think will be tastier. Noodles are one of those things that you think are like you could only buy in a store, I guess unless you're like Italian or do make a lot of things by hand. I was just like, noodles just come from a store. And I'm like, no, they're so easy. And I have a friend from Italy who taught me how to make tortellini, and that will be something I try in the future. So I've done a lot of traveling in my life in the last I guess the last 6 years, a lot in the last 2 years. And that's really changed my perspective on food a lot from growing up in America. We have, the way I grew up, it's a lot more of like quicker food, and not necessarily fast food, but like food that is, you have a box, you have water, you kind of put it together and you cook it, and it's like 30 minutes or less, which is fine. But when I traveled, I met a lot of people who like grew up making a lot of food by hand. And then more of like a culture around dinner and like spending hours having dinner and having always like a big meal for different occasions. And that bit was kind of eye-opening to me, that like food is more experiential than just like necessity, I guess. Like, especially being in France, like the aperitif time when you have like a snack in the afternoon, that's not something I ever did. So I thought that was kind of cool and a real social experience for me. And then I've had different friends from different countries who have taught me their like family recipes. That's been really cool. All right, so I let the dough sit for about 15 minutes. And now we're gonna roll it as thin as possible, like basically paper thin. Last time I tried to do it, I did not get to that thinness. And then when I went to cook them, they kind of expand and they're kind of thick. So I am using a cup because we don't have a rolling pin. And you know, it just works fine. Sometimes you just have to make do with what you have. And like, whatever. I would say my favorite food is, well, I like Korean food a lot. I spent a week in South Korea with a drawing program, essentially. And we got to eat a lot of super good Korean food. It was in Seoul and Jeju Island. And it was just like really flavorful and spicy and felt good because there was a lot of vegetables and meat and just like felt good in my body, and yeah, it was really nice. I find cooking to be kind of like a mindfulness activity. I'm not really into meditation or mindfulness. I'm like a really high energy person, and even though I was recommended a lot of meditation and mindfulness when I was in therapy, and I tried it out. I tried out meditation for like 3 years. I would go to these centers and sit for like an hour and a half, which I totally respect. And I did it. I did it for an entire year. I went like twice a week doing this. And it kind of helped me chill out, but I just found that it just like was not for me. I'm more of like an active mindfulness person, I think. So like doing activities that keep me moving essentially, but also kind of in the moment, like hula hooping I really like because I have to be, like I'm still moving and I'm still like, it kind of keeps my brain active. But at the same time, I can't like do a million other things. I have to just be really in the moment. And something like this too, like cooking, I find that you have to be really focused because if you don't, you know, do it at the right time, then you're going to make a mistake. And also like, it's really helpful for me to cook for other people. So for now, because of the quarantine, I'm cooking for my family, and I think it is awesome because it's not about me, it's about like this bigger thing about the experience, and you know, I want the meal to be good for everybody. All right, our meal is finished. We have meatballs with protein and noodles and vegetables, and it's gonna be delicious. And yeah, thank you for joining me today. And take care of yourself. And yeah, see you next time.